We live in a society that's obsessed with perfection. You may think this is a super general statement to open with. You might be thinking, me? Self-obsessed? Never! But seeing as a creative process, according to Tim Brown, calls for us to apply our creative ideas to not so much the individual, but to the masses. Let's follow this line of thought for a moment. If you're still unconvinced by the Kardashians of the world, the ego-boosting new trends that we just have to have, or the 20 or so selfies you took this morning before finally finding the one good enough to post on your Instagram, then let's take a look at some raw data. The number of major cosmetic surgeries has increased globally by almost 50% in just a 3-year period. And if that's not enough to make you believe that we are a society consumed with flawlessness, then check out this graph, which focuses on the USA, but that's drawn up in a way that looks really shocking and pretty impressive. All of this had me thinking about why the practice of the creative process has never been more important to implement into our education system than it is today. So I pose the question, why is failing during the creative process just as important as succeeding? Ken Robinson says the role of a teacher is to facilitate learning, and part of the problem is that the dominant culture of education has come to focus not on teaching and learning, but testing. Children's attentions are focused on the end result rather than the process on which to get to the end result. So how does this all tie in? Say you're sitting in class dissecting the use of light and dark within the poetry of Oscar Wilde. You then attempt to write a piece of work in a similar vein. You might think to yourself, I've just written an absolute piece of crap. Now apply this to any creative task in the world, whether it is nailing a Jimmy Page solo or baking your mama's famous lemon pie. No doubt most of us have had that disheartening thought at least once. For many people, this comes down to the psychology of motivation. Dweck developed a theory that puts us in 2 categories. Those with a growth mindset, which are people who thrive under challenges. So basically when they are failing, they are learning. And those with a fixed mindset. Fixed brains use their failures as measurements of how good or bad they are at a task, never using it as an opportunity to deepen their skill. It is for these people that the creative process is important to learn. They need to know it's okay to make mistakes, and failing is all a part of the process on which to build upon. Perhaps that way we'd have more artists and writers than we do brokers or bankers. Bringing it back to our example of Oscar Wilde, there is far too much focus on the perfection of the achievement and not enough learning about the task or the creative process leading up to his achievements. His creative process is not learned or shown in class. His mistakes and drafts are never looked at, and his work becomes something Dionysian. There is no learning how to get there for a fixed brain, only the study of the end product, which is ultimately futile for them, just serving as a template of what they can never achieve, an unattainable dream. This comes full circle back to Ken Robinson's suggestion that there is too much focus on the testing of the achievement. Everything is perfect first time, all the time, and it seems that society is bending over backwards to try and live up to it. Kids growing up pull duck faces in photos now, and it's normal. And what is that? The suicide rate for young Australians is at the highest it's been in 10 years. I asked 10 counsellors at my workplace why they think this is. The most common answer was people don't feel good enough. So it is now more important than ever that we need to show children the creative processes of their idols to make them human for them. Perhaps that way it'll become common knowledge that a failure is but a piece of the creative puzzle that everybody can share in.